All right, so you know how to turn things on, turn things off, get MainStage started, and that's great. Christy's going to make some videos for you next week that will kind of show you some of the like important features and how to get some like fancy stuff out of this. For now, I'm just going to show you the very basic stuff, just like what I've learned so far, and like turning on a pad, turning off the pad. You know, changing voices, things like that. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I just opened MainStage, and for some reason, instead of opening up where it normally does, it opened up just in a different, something that looks totally different. So I'm gonna go to File, Open Recent, and open that Sunday Keys template. And hopefully that's gonna bring things back to where we were. I just wanted to show you that in case that happens to you. Okay, so that took about 20 seconds or so to load. You may have heard in the last video, I'm gonna go to Performance tab, and I'm gonna scroll back up here to where we were, the Intimate Worship Piano. You may have heard in the last video that like the first chord that I hit just like rang out forever. I'm gonna try again, see if it happens again. Yeah, see, I'm not like touching anything. I'm not holding down the thing down here, and it's just going forever. It's never stopping. For some reason, it seems like it's doing that just for the first note. But I'm kind of glad that happened, because I want to show you, like, if something crazy were to happen in the service and like the keyboard won't stop, there's actually a panic button right there. So you can go, we may actually assign a key to that, and but I'm going to hit that, and you notice it just kills it. Now if I hit it again, whenever I release, you can still hear it, but now it's fading out. Yeah, so that's what's going on with that. I want to show you just a little bit about, like, you know, if I'm holding something down, now I'm going to use the sustain pedal so I can show you some different things. But so there, I'm hitting the G. I've got like worship piano. I've got a pad. I've got some strings behind it and an organ behind it. So again, you know, it kind of sounds here. Now, if all I wanted was something like, actually, right now all I'm getting is piano and pad. You can see those volumes are the only ones that are up. So I've got a lot of piano, a little bit of pad. If I wanted that to sound differently, then I can bring this volume up and this volume down, and just to hear the difference now. And there are lots of other pads that you can use. That may not be your favorite one. Maybe I bring that down if I wanted to do something's pad. Maybe I'm gonna add a little bit of strings to it, and I'm gonna add a little bit of this pad organ to it, and let's just see how that sounds. So you see that's a little prettier. It's not, the Euphoria was a little bit abrasive by itself, but you can see that's kind of holding things out. So, but if I'm hitting individual notes, you can still kind of hear the piano. So if you want those notes cut through a little bit more, you can bring that piano up. If you don't want that at all, you can bring it down. Now, another thing I want to show you is a really cool thing that Christy assigned. She actually assigned this top octave of the keyboard. She's like, nobody ever uses the top octave anyway. Of course, this is an 88 key keyboard, so you really don't need to be hitting those really blinky notes at the top. But these are actually assigned to do different things. So if I'm hitting these, they're not making any noise, but something is happening. If you look in this lower corner here, if I hit the D button up here, if I hit this D, then that changes, that turns on the D light there. Or if I hit the very highest G, it changes it to G. What that's doing is this is actually a pre-programmed pad, and it sounds really cool. So if I say, hey, you know, this first song's in G, I want you to start it with a pad, then all you have to do is hit the G button and then hit this very top key. This just turns the pad on and off. So just listen. I'm not touching anything. I'm you know, not holding down the sustain pedal. It's just running this. It's just gonna run that G on the pad until I tell it to stop. Now, one thing that's kind of cool about this is I can still play things over top of it. So if I wanted a little piano on top of it, maybe I bring this other stuff down just a little bit. Let's just say, like, especially if it was like a transition time or a prayer or something like that, You know, I can come to the piano and just kind of tinker around maybe. As long as you're hitting something that's in the scale of G, then you're fine. One thing I also wanted to demonstrate is with this pad going, you don't have to think like, okay, well, if I'm playing something in G, you know, the typical keys are like G, C, D, and E minor. I don't have to change the pad for those other keys. So just listen to how the G chord sits in with this. If I play the C, it still fits with that pad. Here's the D, E minor, or even if you had an A minor. So any of those chords in that key are going to fit. So, you know, it's fine to actually start a pad. If we're doing something in the key of G, you can just start it and let it roll, and it's going to roll until I end it. So if the song's over, I can kill it with that and it'll fade out. Like, so just listen. It doesn't kill it immediately, but I actually prefer that it kind of fades out, okay? There is a volume tab here, so you can click and bring that volume up if you need to. Let's just say we're in the key of G, making sure, so you want to hit the G first and make sure it's turned on, and then started that. And let's just say that that song ends and the next song is in the key of D. Well, I don't have to turn it off and then hit D. I can actually hit the D, and you can hear the transition being made there. So now it's transitioned into the key of D. You can let that roll. You come here. I don't know if I know all the chords. D, G, A, yeah, B minor. I wasn't sure if I knew that one. So yeah, so that's just a cool effect with the pad that will make a huge difference. Again, when somebody's playing, you know, I can kind of hint around with and just kind of messing around with that a little bit. You know, when we're playing underneath a prayer or something like that, we don't always have to play something with a clear melody. We can just kind of hit around with some stuff like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off, let it fade out. But that's pretty much it. You know, you can click on these things and you know, increase, decrease based on what you want for that particular song. And yeah, so Christy will make more videos next week and send them to you, and she'll show you how to do all the awesome stuff. But for now, I just wanted to kind of show you how to get started and how to do some of the basics. So thanks a lot. Can't wait for you guys to get here and try it out. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks, guys. Okay, one last thing. I talked about on the last video the panic button, which is here. We can click that. But let's just say I hit something and it just kind of sounds kind of abrasive, like and I'm just like, oh man, I can't get rid of that. It won't stop. If I don't want to reach over and hit the panic, I just assigned this very bottom button here. So let's just hear it again. That very bottom button is now your panic button. If you don't want to reach up to the computer, you can just hit that bottom button and it will kill it. Now, what I would recommend is, unless you just have to, like if it's stuck on something that just sounds absolutely terrible, yeah, go ahead and hit that. Otherwise, if you can live with it for just a few seconds, if you can roll the volume down and then kill it, and then roll the volume back up and get back in, that probably would be a little bit more smooth.